Yes, I'm ready, Paul.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm here to welcome Ferry. And Ferry, you say your last name because I can never say it.
My name is Ferry Schutzelaars.
Schutzelaars.
Schutzelaars. Yeah,
Yes.
Dutch. So we have a strong.
Yeah. Uh, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Paul. I'm on the moment in Switzerland, in an old chalet, and I come here every winter and having a good time
That's
making
great.
scraps. And yeah, we have a good time. It's nice weather outside.
So, you previously did an interview with me here, and we've been friends and we've been talking a lot about our um, natural natural bees and keeping bees in a natural way and trying to develop our bees and help people to understand a little more about how we go about that. And just recently, you've been talking to me about some other aspects of beekeeping. Um, Maybe you'd like to talk about that right now, or I don't know what you're interested. I know you posted a picture of a big sun hive, and
Yeah.
it got a lot of it got a lot of interest from a lot of the members. So, would you like to talk about that sort of thing?
Yeah, because, and it's when I'm here in Switzerland, I have also plenty time, and I'm always making skeps too. So
Oh,
I just finished
wow,
one skep, and
fantastic!
this is a normal, say, kind of old-fashioned bee skep. They used in Holland for yeah, maybe 1,000 years. And I am working also on a sun hive.
Wow.
And yeah, this is a mold because when you make a sun hive,
Uh-huh.
it's very important that the form will be completely exact. So then
Yes.
it's convenient to have a mold. So the size will be uh, yeah, correct. And yeah, about the sun hive, I can tell something about it. The sun hive is developed by a German artist, and his name is Günther Manke. He and Günther Manke he was studying the bees, and his question was which form of hive the bees ask of us. And he was also studying the chain of bees, and that's yeah, maybe different. Yeah, the chain when bees build combs, and you sometimes you can see it when you open a hive. You can see that they make a string.
Right.
Yeah, they make a string. All these bees are together, and they make this string. And yeah, he did some research on these forms, and he made this sun hive. And I have several of them, and it's actually yeah, it is funny, because also mostly non-beekeepers, they really understand this form, uh, that it is a form of the bee. A
Right.
bee, and we make also square boxes, but if you look at the biology of the bee and how they build comb, then you can feel that this form is, yeah, they appreciate this form. It's the form that belongs to the bee. So this sun hive is can be also a help to get the bees more healthy again. Eh?
Yeah.
Again,
Right.
again. So
Right.
and it's And he made also, because it has two parts, this sun hive and the upper part. And you have in the upper part, you have, how you call it, some bows where the bees can make the comb on. So
Frames? Is it a type of a frame? Is that what
yeah,
you're
it's a
saying?
kind of a frame, but it works the same as in a top bar hive.
Okay.
So it's just at the beginning of a frame, and it's open on the underside, and then they can build also in the lower basket, because the sun hive has two parts, and he made it also in a way like that because in Germany there are bee inspectors who come to inspect your hives and who ask if you treated the varroa well.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why he made also these kind of frames. Yeah,
So,
that's
so
and I have some, and then people ask, but how you collect honey from them? And I always say, yeah, but I don't collect honey from them. These are hives to for just for the bees and to get healthy bees again. So I never open them. And yeah, I live in Holland, so we don't have bee inspectors, and nobody comes to inspect what you do or whatsoever. And so I
so
keep bees in them, and then I just don't do anything. Maybe the first year, if it's a late swarm, I feed them a little bit for the first winter, and I don't do anything. So I have four of them, four of these sun hives. But it's also for more educational reasons. So you can show people, you can talk with people and talk about the form of the Imme. And
if
there's the word.
there's a word. So before we get to that word, I wanted to ask you if somebody wanted to build one of these sun hives, how would they go about doing that? Would they have to meet someone like you, or I know there are different people that teach, but are there any kind of guides online or plans?
Yeah, there is also a book written by this Günther Manke, and there is a complete description how you can build it.
Okay.
But it is difficult because the measurements they should be very exact, and you have you must be also a little bit of skilled woodworker, but you must know woodworking to do
Okay.
it, because you have to make these molds, and that's also that's quite a work. And you have to make also some rings where you start the straw on. So yeah, it is quite difficult, and but there are not so many places where they or there are not so many people who build them and who are skilled in it. In
Yeah.
Europe, yeah, maybe I know maybe four people who can really build them well and give courses. And in the United States, there are also a few people. So the best way is actually to do a course,
Okay.
because you should have the material too.
Yes, of course.
And
I'm sure it's a special type of straw that you use.
yeah, that's uh, now I forgot the English name of this straw.
Say it in Dutch.
Rye straw, rye
Rye.
straw.
Okay. Okay.
And this rye straw should be also harvested not with a combiner, because when a
Okay.
combiner harvests it, it is will be gone. And now I don't see anything anymore on the screen.
You don't see anything
There
more on the
is
screen,
there is something happening now.
but I'm seeing you.
Okay,
I'm seeing you.
yeah, it's okay again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Modern technology. So Ferry,
yeah,
you just mentioned a word that we have been discussing, It's more than a word. It's an energy. You call it the Imme. Imme? Is that,
Yeah, the Imme.
you spell that Imme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a word. But I would like to, because it's kind of maybe a coincidence, but I just before you called me, I was listening to a program on the radio, and it is a program about history. And there was a woman in this program, and she just finished a book, and this book is in Dutch, and but the title translated will be the invented people of the Middle Age.
The inventative, like
The
inventors.
inventive people of the Middle Age. And she was talking about how these people, and sometimes we regard these people in this time as a bit stupid and full of superstition. But she was talking about how they use herbs for medicines.
Okay.
And she was also mentioning bee charms.
Bee
Bee
shamans.
charms.
Okay.
No, charms. No, charms. It's like you use some phrases
Okay. Bee charms.
like like a mantra,
Okay. Okay.
like mantras. And
Okay.
she did some research for that.
Okay.
And I was already also busy with this subject because that's very interesting. That the people in centuries ago they had a different consciousness as we have. And the people were really observing the world in a different way than what we do.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
and this is very interesting because this has to do much also with beekeeping and this all this science or this yeah whatever you call it in English. Um, people and something what remains still in Europe is the custom is that when a beekeeper dies,
Right. Yes,
the
I've heard of.
family members go to the hives and they make also they are telling the bees that the beekeeper died
Right.
and that they ask them to stay with them, but they really tell the beekeeper is dead, and they mourn actually with the bees. And if you, but this is only one example. All over Europe, in all these different countries, but also in Asia, people had real strong relations with the bees. And the bees were part of the family.
Right. Right.
And I traveled much in Europe. I visited many beekeepers all over Europe. And but you can see it still when you travel around in the Balkan countries. Then you see when you're in the countryside. Then you see that many people have two or three hives in the garden.
Wow. Yeah.
So in the villages there are many beekeepers. It's not one beekeeper with 100 hives or 200 hives. Then you see that in many places you see that people have bees and they have this close relation with these bees. But in
I
these
think.
old times, they have this very strong relations, and people were sure um, that you so acknowledge the bees, and they're part of the family. So they had a very important role. And even if you go further back in history, or back in time, because I traveled also in Turkey, and I also visited there many beekeepers. And there still you can see that the people have bees for thousands of years. Really thousands of years. Just far before Christ, people have these bees. And in Turkey, you still can see it, especially in the south of Turkey. You see they make a kind of small towers of stone. And on this tower, there was a platform. And on this platform, they had these hives. In the old days in Turkey, they had these log hives, horizontal log
Oh,
hives.
okay.
And these little towers, they were made that the bears couldn't enter them.
Okay.
So the bees were not able to climb up and go to
To the
the
bees.
hives,
Yeah.
to the bees. So you can see that the relation between human beings and bees is really thousands and thousands of years old. But that the relation with humans and the bees changed. They changed.
I think this
And
is one of, if I may say something here, I think this is one of the important things, and I've always been talking about that, is that we need more beekeepers with less hives, not less beekeepers with more hives. And I think that's one of the things that's happening to us, is that we're losing track of that. You know, like you're getting guys with up to like 10,000 hives, and you cannot manage that personal relationship with the bees when you have that many hives. You talking about traveling in the Balkans and also in Turkey and Europe, and meeting people that they only have 3 hives, and they have a personal relationship with those bees. And I think this is the way that we would manage it all better. Anyway, you go ahead.
yeah, no, that's true. That's true what you said. But I think it's also important um, that that the beekeeper should not have too many bees. At least not more bees than the environment around them can carry.
Right.
So if you have too many bees, the bees will uh, they don't have enough food. But I think it's the most also very important that the beekeepers have a real understanding of bees and don't mess too much with them. And when you talk with people about people with thousands of bees, probably you're talking about the United States. Here in Europe, it's actually different. You have some big beekeepers in some countries, but they have a few hundred hives, but not this amount like in the United States. Um,
In the United States and Canada, with the
yeah,
type
yeah,
of
yeah,
with the large scale beekeeping that they do, especially in the pollination business.
yeah,
I believe it's last year, Colos reported losses in the US of around 45%, and in Canada in excess of 50%. That's a huge, huge impact
yeah.
on on the whole structure of bees and the whole relationship.
Yeah, and these people, I think they call it the beekeeping industry.
Yes,
Yeah? And this word industry is strange to use this word for beekeeping. But in France, they have this word apiculture. It's a
yes,
culture of the apis, of the bee, the culture
yeah,
of the bees, and that's a beautiful word. that there's a it's talking about complete different relations to bees. If you talk about apiculture, it's a culture. It's not an industry.
Exactly. In Europe, the same colos reported in the European Union, European countries, losses, a combined average of about between 15 and 17%. Now that is way different to what is happening in the States and in Canada. So it's really worth thinking about that kind of thing, the relationship that people have with their bees. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But still, when you look at the bees in Europe, we still have very big problems in Europe, also with the bees. And because you on your Facebook page and what your work is for natural beekeeping, and that you don't have to use chemicals
Right.
to keep the bees alive. But when you look to Europe, there is something going on. In some countries, it's going quite well. If you talk about United Kingdom, I think it's about 20 or 30% of the beekeepers don't treat any chemicals anymore. So the situation is improving. The same goes for Holland. And there we have also this kind of amount of people who don't treat the bees. Also, I think it's about 20%. And in different regions, this number is different. Where I have my bees, it's about 50% of the beekeepers who don't treat. And then you can see that the bees are going to be better and better year after year, actually. If you talk about Germany, you talk about Switzerland, Austria, and also in many countries on the Balkans, the story is completely different. If you and I know about Switzerland because I'm 2 times a year I'm in Switzerland already for 30 years, so I know really the.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm a very. I consider myself as a millionaire without money.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
I
completely
live like a
understand that.
millionaire.
Yes.
Yeah, I live now in a chalet in the mountains in Switzerland, and yeah. But in Germany and Switzerland, in the whole Germany there are almost no natural beekeepers in the sense that they don't have to use formic acid or all
Oxalic
kind
acid
of
and yeah.
oxalic acid or how you saw this acid of the ants, the formic acid, other things, because the bees die. And the same goes with Switzerland. There are almost no beekeepers who are able to. And what you see more and more that you have all kind of big breeding programs that people try to breed resistant bees. And they put enormous money inside in there. In Germany, they'll put millions of euros to do in these programs. But in Holland, it's, and I can talk about Holland because I'm Dutch. You see that there are more and more new beekeepers, also women beekeepers. More and more, I think now about half of the beekeepers is woman. And there you see a change that people have a different approach to the bees and to the beekeeping.
Right.
Yeah. But in what I said, in Germany and Switzerland, it's very tragic that people put all their efforts in these breeding programs, and I think it will not help the bees at all. Because in this breeding, um, yeah, they make a lot of damage too in the bees, and all these manipulations they do, and especially in some of these breeding programs, they use the one drone method. And so they breed for bees with this trait, what's called a VSH in English, the
Yes.
Varroa
Varroa
sensitive.
sensitive hygiene.
Yeah. And when they have bees who have this trait, they want queens with this genetics, and they use one drone for these queens, and they make artificial insemination. And yeah, they do these things, and they think this will be the solution. But I'm pretty sure this will not work out.
Right. Well,
This will not work.
isn't it true that Germany um, has a real insect apocalypse going on where they have lost 75% of their insect population? I,
Yeah,
it was reported on quite a few of the news media that the insect population is in such serious decline.
yeah,
Three
yeah.
quarters. That's huge.
That's huge, and that's the mass of all of the insects in this research they did. I'm pretty sure that it is the same in Holland, and it's the same in France. It's the same all over Europe, probably also United States and everywhere where they have this chemical agriculture. And what beekeepers then do is then they point the finger to the farmers.
Yeah.
And I think the big reason of this insect
Apocalypse.
apocalypse is in this agriculture with all the chemicals. It's a very, very bad thing. It's a very bad thing. But beekeepers point the finger to these farmers, but still they use also poisons.
The beekeepers.
Yeah, they do the
Yes.
same. There is a pest, and they want to get rid of the pest, and they use chemicals to get rid of this varroa. Yeah, but this subject is very complicated, because now in Holland, it's I think quite easy to stop treating, because there are now so many bees in Holland. The same goes for England and partly also in France. That you have natural beekeepers who manage to have bees who can deal with the varroa. But this is not the case in Germany and Switzerland.
Right.
So here in Switzerland, I know a few beekeepers who are treatment free,
Yes.
but the most are not. And also here in the surrounding where I am now, there are also all these breeding stations where people can bring their young queens to how
To
you
be
call it,
mated. To be
to be
mated.
mated.
Yeah.
So you have these breeding programs, and in different regions they have different bees. And mostly it's for the carniolian, the carnica bee, or the
Right.
breakfast bee. And in these programs, they try also to breed for this varroa resistance. But what I see here in Switzerland and what I know about Switzerland, it just doesn't work. And the only persons I know who have healthy bees and don't treat, they will certainly not use these kind of bees.
Right. So this is the whole purpose of this group, the Natural and Regenerative Beekeeping Group, is to spread this message that it can work. Of course, we get a lot of people coming in and saying, "Oh no, you have to treat and you have to use oxalic acid because oxalic acid doesn't give the bees, doesn't give the mites. The mites don't develop a resistance to oxalic acid." This may be true, but however, oxalic acid causes all sorts of problems in the bee chemistry and the chemistry within the hive. And the bees have learning problems with learning and development and tending to their young, a whole bunch of stuff. The balance is just thrown off, you know. And I think this is very important. The more of us that actually go and allow the bees to develop this resistance to build it, is the stronger the entire the entire population of honeybees will be. And it also goes into agriculture, because if you're not using chemicals in your bees, you don't want to use chemicals in your garden and all this sort of thing. Now, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the Imme that you had started talking about. And I know when we get talking, we forget the day. We forget that there's a day and hours in it. So
we should talk about the Imme, because this is a subject not many people know about. And
because besides doing all these natural procedures like leaving honey and not treating and all that sort of stuff, there is the relationship with the human being and the bee, the energy between them. And I think that's what you're referring to. Am I right?
Yeah. And if because in Dutch we have this word Imme, and that means the whole. That's the colony. That's the colony living. The colony with the queen and the worker bees, and also my English sometimes.
Your English is excellent. Don't worry. It's
no, but the combs. The combs is also. This Imme is the whole of the bee, and we have this word, and the beekeeper is a imker. So the one who take care of the Imme, and the Imme are the colonies. And but I have to refer to Rudolf Steiner, and I have this book with me, and this is the book in Dutch. It's because he brought me on this path, and
right.
Anyhow, but this book is in Dutch. It's called De Bijen. It means the bees.
Okay.
And it's Rudolf Steiner gave lectures in 1923, in the late autumn 1923. So this is now, he gave lectures, and this is now exactly 100 years and a few months ago.